As we are about to start, let us first check the technical basics for us to know if there are any technical issues beforehand. Kindly confirm if we are clearly heard and seen onto your screen by tapping the like button. We also request all of you to keep your microphone on mute for smooth sailing discussion of our speakers. Thank you.
Everyone, it is our pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon to TCS Call's fifth webinar series entitled EDUKasama, the Wise and House of School and Community Partnership. I am Manatea Gaurano.
And I am Marilyn Capo, your Masters of Ceremony. Now let us begin this program with a prayer to be followed by the singing of the national anthem.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
All right, to give us the opening remarks for this webinar, may I now call on Ms. Shanley Belia Santos.
Hi everyone, this is Shani Bella Santos, and I just wanted to thank you guys for giving us your afternoon and joining our webinar today entitled The Wise and the House of School and Community Partnership. We are here to tell you why is it important and how is it important that community in our school is actually partnering with each other. All the informations that you guys will be able to watch on today's webinar are truth and facts. All of them are well studied by our speakers. So we appreciate if you guys could take down some notes, or if you guys might have not understand something within the entire webinar, just let us know. Message us on the chat box so we could all address it. And I actually wanted to give a shout out to my classmates and DS Eden too, and for joining us today as well. And is it actually nice that for today we'll be able to learn how our community and our school will be able to partner with each other? You know, right now, probably, you know, the atmosphere of what we have on our country right now, the schools and probably the community have different opinions and different point of views on what's going on with our country. And for today, we wanted to empower everyone, to share everyone the knowledges that we were able to gain from this specific module that we are able to study. And I know it could probably be a very different or difficult time for most of us right now, but we appreciate that you're here. We appreciate that you at least wanted to give us an hour and a half of your time to ease out all your minds from the difficulties that we're currently facing as of the moment. We actually hope that you guys could embark all the lessons that you will be learning today to yourself, to your community, as well as your future students. So before I leave, one last note that I'll be sharing with you guys is that thank you. Again, we appreciate you and everything will be all right. Just sit back and relax. Go ahead to our wonderful speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shangi, for your wonderful remarks. So now, teachers, tap the heart button if you are all ready to lend your ears and learn something from our speakers. Oh, wow, it's pouring heart reacts. Because of your enthusiasm, let us go ahead and proceed to the session proper and get to learn from our two great speakers the essence of collaboration between school and community to attain their common goal.
Yes, thanks for that, Anna. For our first speaker, she is a computer science, technology, and engineering in her junior high school from San Jose National High School, and a UMS graduate in her senior high school in the same school, and is a current sophomore taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English in PUP Santa Mesa. Let's all welcome Ms. Blessy Faye Maranan.
A pleasant day, everyone. How's life so far? I know that these past few days has been challenging, but I do appreciate your presence with us here today. Before I start with the talk, I would want to know if you are still here. May I see some heart reactions? Okay, just click it so that I may know that you are still listening with our webinar. Great, thank you. So for today, we are going to talk about school community partnership. So I would just want to ask if who among you has been participating with school organizations? May I see some raise hand reactions? You may freely click the raise hand button so that I may know. Good, good. Okay. So with your experience as one of the student leaders or maybe members of the organization, what are the experiences that you had? You may freely type on the chat box so that the other participants would also read and learn from your experience. Because I know that some of you are also continuing to be a part of some organization in the university. And I really salute you guys for being so flexible with your time and effort and for being really responsible when it comes to your organizational activities as well as your academic burdens. Okay, great, great. I can see those comments that you've shared and thank you for sharing those comments. And we are now going to proceed with our talk about co-community partnership. So let us first define what partnership is. So a partnership requires two supporting parties that bonds with one another. So each of the two benefit from one. This means that, for example, if the school helps the community gains from the school, and vice versa. Henceforth, school community partnership is a shared duty. It is a bi-directional process in which schools and other community agencies and organizations involve people in a meaningful and culturally relevant ways. So in here, all of the people, as in everyone, is involved with the school community partnership. Because once the school is supported by the community, the children, our future, will be directed in the right path. They will be supported. They will have this provision from every one of us. And same thing with our community. So if we also get involved with community activities, community programs, we also are working not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. So we have some opportunities for school community partnership. So this is how community carries involvement with school matters. And first is the Brigada Escuela. This program engages all education stakeholders to contribute their time, effort, and resources in ensuring the public school facilities to be set in time for the forthcoming school opening. So it takes more than or maybe less than 2 weeks before the school calendar begins. So for the standard school calendar here in the Philippines, we have the June to March, right? But since it's pandemic, we had to move the school calendar, the start or the beginning of the class. Therefore, we rarely see some Brigada movement or Brigada programs because we are doing online classes and the schools are closed. Therefore, this Brigada Escuela is something that we should still remember, even though we're not still in the practice of doing it in the present time. Because someday, if there will be some face-to-face classes, and I do believe that some of the public schools are now practicing and exercising face-to-face classes, if that will be mandatory to every school in the Philippines, then Brigada Escuela should be implemented. So this is a school maintenance program institutionalized in 2009 through DepEd Order number 100 series of 2009. So this is a DepEd Order number, and this is something that is implemented in every school. And I know that some of us has been a part of Brigada Escuela. And if some of you are not aware of how things work with this one, so basically people are going inside the school, not to study, but to get involved with cleaning of the classroom, doing some maintenance, fixing some hazardous areas, like for example, broken stairs, even a broken door of the restroom, and a lot more. And it is really essential to have Brigada Escuela before the school opens so that we can ensure the safety and the wellness of the environment of the school for the academic year. Next, we have curriculum development. So this can mean of use of the community resources for learning. So the example for the curriculum development are the museum, elders of the community as key informants in research or research persons in the study of local history. Okay, so when we say curriculum development, it doesn't just focuses on the development of the modules, books that we use in school. The curriculum development also touches the involvement of the community to be a part of our resources for gaining information. So some of us has been into field trips, right? Who among you joins field trip? You went to this place, and especially to the museums and heritage places here in the Philippines. It's a great adventure, right? But I hope that whenever we do some visit with our museums and other cultural heritage, we also learn, and we also um, give importance to what is presented by each um, museum or cultural heritage. Like we do read, understand, and apply what we have learned in our visit. And not just that. So in the curriculum development, under that, we also do some interviews with other people. So I know that some of us has this projects or assignments in which it involves getting in touch with the people in the community. And that is really, really important because it helps us to get to know how these people live, how they contribute to the community, and it also gives us some kind of information that we need to learn, we need to understand in order for us to have a better society. So in order for us to be a better individual, we also have to understand what is happening around us. And by reflecting with what we learn from other people, is also a contribution, a factor for us to be better on ourselves. Work experience program. So this is one of the opportunities for school community partnership. So in here, business establishments and offices in the community can serve as training grounds for learners. A concrete example of that is the work immersion that senior high school students have. I know that some of us underwent with work immersion. So who among you had a work immersion outside the school? May I see some raise hand button? Great. As for me, I didn't have my work immersion outside the school because my line of work or my field is about education. So I basically had my work immersion inside the school. And by that, I learned how to put my feet on the shoes of a teacher. I had this some kind of realizations upon observing their work, and there are really things that I pondered on when I was having a work immersion with my school. And yes, in this program, students are given the opportunity to work in relevant establishments or offices in the community to help them develop their competencies, their work ethics, and values relevant to pursuing further education or joining the world of work. And these partner offices for immersion provide senior high school students with opportunities such as to become familiar with the workplace. Okay, so if you're gonna have some work immersion, you're gonna know how things go, what are the system, what are the processes that they do. And second, they also give some kind of support to the students for them to know how to work. So they have this employment simulation where the students will be able to act as how the workers do or work inside the office or the establishment. And third, it gives the students a go signal to apply their competencies in areas of specialization in authentic work environment. So this is a push for the people or for the students to apply what they've learned in getting into the world of work. So in this community partnership, the school can fulfill what the curriculum requires and may improve on the curriculum based on community feedback. So that's for the curriculum development that we talked about. And it enables the students to undergo hands-on work experience while community establishments contribute to the formation of graduates who are more ready for life and more equipped for the world of work business. And there are a lot of a world of work in the community that are really ultimately necessary for the students to undergo, so that when they go to the outside world, they will be prepared, they will be equipped and ready to face the challenges as an employee or a worker. We also have here some schools that call this service learning. So since there are a lot of things that have been going on with our lives, and it is really a challenge to undergo with service learning. But um, if we will be able to get back with the uh, past situation wherein we have the freedom to go out and to make some programs outside our homes, then this service learning will be accessible to everyone. So here we have the remediation and enrichment classes. So this is a program wherein parents and retired teachers may be involved in the school reading, remediation, and learning enrichment program. So those people who would like to volunteer, or they have the they want to have some act of service, they could be get involved with the school reading remediation. So there is a large percentage of illiteracy rate here in the Philippines, and being a part of this program is really um, good. It is really important because it will help people to learn the letters, to learn how to spell, to write, and to read the words. And also, it will enhance their comprehension. And that is really the key to success. It's not that communication is the key, because if there is communication but you don't understand the other person, the point of what the other person is saying, then communication is null. It wouldn't be effective. But if a person will have a high comprehension, the quality of understanding is really established, then it will lead our community into a better understanding, and it will be leading our community to have a better society. Do you agree with me? Okay, thank you. And then we have the youth development program. So in this program, the young people may involve themselves in youth development programs and develop their skills and talents, and they could also learn how to deal positively with peers and adults and serve as resources in their community. So in this program, the people, especially the young ones, are being equipped with their talents and skills. They are being practiced, they are being exposed to learning how to enhance their skills and to improve. Okay, they are there to develop their skills. And I think this is important because it really boosts the confidence as well as the intelligence of a person. So there are a lot of things that we must consider. It doesn't have to be just one type of skill. We should also learn how to respect and to build the skill of other people. Like they also have their own strengths in which they could also contribute to the community. And that is one thing that the youth development program is pushing through. The community service is something that people are getting involved with a lot of things, such as the tutorial programs, community reforestation programs, cleanup drive, like for example, for a river. And there is also some assisting in medical missions or a school head involved in planning local celebrations, like the teachers are the ones are managing the programs, the projects and activities. And there are a lot more of community services that people may get involved too. And by this, it helps the community to stay green, to stay healthy, to stay clean, and it keeps the environment safe for everyone. So these are some kind of environmental community services that people may get into, so that we may, save Mother Earth, be a part of the change that we want to. And of course, it doesn't just end with the environmental aspects. It also uh, touches the cultural aspect wherein, of course, here in the Philippines, we do have a lot of celebrations, a lot of fiestas, and being involved in such is also a help for us to redeem our identity, to give justice, and to uh, reminisce how our great grandfathers um, would want this culture and traditions to be preserved. So those students being involved with school band, they are the ones playing the fiesta parade. It is also one type of a community service that is essential for everyone. It doesn't just have to be an exposure, it just, giving some noise, because I know some of us wouldn't really have this appreciation maybe of the activities that some of the students may have been doing. But in order for us to have some kind of reflection with regards to our culture, being part of this is a commitment to the community and of course to our nation. Okay, we have some things here that a school can do for the community. So if the community are helping the school in many ways, the schools can also be of help to the community. First one is that the classroom can be used by the community organizations for meetings. So there are some groups who are taking part their meetings in the classrooms whenever there are no classes. For example, every weekend they would go to the schools and conduct meetings. The school is also used as a polling place. So we just had an election, and there are things that we can observe, because I know that we are all voters, right? We are all in the right age to vote, and let us all practice our right to vote. And yes, in this second point, there are things that the community is being catered by the school. Like for example, the teachers are the one who is assisting the voters for the process, for the entering the ballots to the voting counting machine. And then the school is also providing some facilities so that we could process this polling into a good one. It really serves as a vital experience for everyone to have this comfortable place to vote. And that is one of the duty that the school contribute to the community. The third is the school is also used as a venue for medical missions, and there are a lot of medical missions that has been happening in the schools. There are blood donations, tooth extraction, and other type of medical missions in which the hospitals as well as the local health experts would visit the school and conduct some medical mission in order to reach people who would want to have free medical appointments. Next, schools are used for mothers class on childcare. So the school is also providing some kind of programs wherein the mothers would be educated, will be having some seminar about childcare. So they will be taught by some speakers on how to to have some family planning, as well as to how to take care of their children. So this involves all the mothers that would want to have some class about childcare. Next, the schools are also used as evacuation center. So there are a lot of calamities that has been happening in the Philippines because we are in the Pacific Ring of Fire. And being into this kind of situation wherein we always have typhoons, floods, and other tragedies, school being an evacuation center is a big help for everyone because it provides a shelter for people who are affected by the calamities. They serve as a place for sleeping, and then there are some donation drives that has been going around, and it is really the school in which the people would go into when these unwanted situations happen. And we have the school facilities used for community assembly. So it's kind of similar with the first point, but this one, the school provides some kind of help for the community assembly. So for example, if the community would want some chairs and then they wouldn't have some enough chairs, well, they can pull out some from the school. And there are also a lot more, like for example, also the venue. The school also provide the venue and other stuffs that the community would need. School court is also used for local celebrations or barangay sports league. So yes, we do have some basketball league, volleyball league, and other sports that has been held in the school court. So in my barangay, we do have this basketball league wherein teachers are also playing. They're also taking part of having this kind of battle. And some this is one of the most important when it comes to building the sportsmanship and also the skills, the sports skills of the people, because it is one of the greatest Filipino thing that we do value sports. And because we love sports, the school is open for some sports league and other local celebrations wherein the community would want to do some of it. Okay, so are you still there? Yes, I know that it's a lot, but I wish that you are there bearing with me. Okay, so let's continue. The schools are also conducting livelihood skills programs for all, so meaning it's all for all ages. So these livelihood skills would help people in order for them to be trained and to practice how to do some livelihood skills, like for example, sewing, and then gardening, cooking, and other kinds of livelihood skills in which they can use in their daily living. All right, and then the livelihood skills training for parents or out of school youth. So this livelihood skills is a training for the parents or those people who would want to establish business or to earn money for their own. And especially those people with out of school youths, they would also, or they could also take part of the livelihood skills program for them also to have a way on how to survive for a living, right? Okay, last one is that the schools are also used as vaccination center for pets. So do you believe that animals are also part of the community? Okay, so this is one of the important role of the school for the community. So we have some learning from the experiences of schools and community partners here in the Philippines. And the first one is the feeding program. In the feeding program, I would like to cite one specific school, which is the Dumingaga Central School, Dumingag in Zamboanga del Sur. This is where the people has a strong community partnership where their feeding program is maintained by community donors such as Mother Butler Mission Guide, barangay councils, office of the mayor, and parents are also the ones who budgeted, purchased, and cooked the meals for the beneficiaries of the program. So that is really, really cool. Imagine how these people are really getting involved with this program in order to address the hunger of the students. So they provide healthy meals for the students, and they also are the ones who are preparing this so that they would have some also they will have some kind of good health, and also the students would also gain something from it. Like if they are not hungry, they can really focus on studying, because it's really, really difficult to study when you're hungry. Do you agree with me? Okay, so we have the kitty cop. This is where the policemen are giving some lecture on good manners and right conduct to the students. So there are some seminars that they've been doing, such as the drug addiction awareness, some HIV awareness. When I was in high school, we do have that. And also some abuses such as gender inequality, child abuse, and a lot more. So this is important because it gives the people, especially the young ones, the mind to be aware of the things that has been happening around us. So this is something that is socially relevant, and it is really essential that people, especially students, would learn how to deal with this one and how to get help when they are the ones experiencing this. We have the Pembo Angels Magic Spot, or what they call PAMs. So here, the volunteer students and teachers they are the ones that are doing the volunteerism. So they are having these environmental steward students of the school to work in these PAMs, this Pembo Angels Magic Spot, which were the small dump sites or empty lots in the barangay, which the students converted into vegetable gardens from which members of the barangay could harvest for home supply, and also the school for their feeding program, or sold them for cash for the purchase of seedling and planting of more vegetables. So imagine a garbage or dump site is being turned into a garden, and then it also supply food for the community, and it also can be converted to cash and to purchase something that is needed by the community. So this is really resourceful, and the PAMs also brought together they brought together students, teachers, school heads, parents, barangay officials, and other members of the community to clean up with the garbages, and they have converted them into green areas with vegetable to be shared to all. So this is really, really amazing, and I hope that some schools here in the Philippines would also practice what this school has practiced, because it is really commendable, and I do appreciate, and I really learned that this is really possible. So if it's possible to one school, why not exercise this also to other schools? This project Rich, the project revitalized enthusiasm for assistance to children of humanity, is where the teacher adopts one student and acted as his or her mentor for the entire school year. So the teacher gave free tutorial lessons to the adopted student during his or her free time. So this is where the teacher will periodically visit the family of the student, and this is also where in some instances the student is given some daily allowance. So for example, in this specific school, they have this allowance of 10,000 pesos from the teacher's own pocket. Do you believe that a teacher would really spend that much money just to support one student? And this contributed to the improvement of the performance of Pembo Elementary School. So the Pambo Elementary School has been 23rd in the rank of the Division Achievement Test. But when they started to launch this Project Reach, it zoomed from 23rd rank, it zoomed to the 9th rank. And could you imagine that they also ranked number 1 or near zero dropout rate 6 years later? So this is how effective this project is to the students of the Pembo Elementary School. And I really salute those teachers who really took part of this project and those who really spend their time, effort, money just for the sake of improving the learning experience of a student. And we still have a lot more experiences from other schools, such as the brain operate well on loaded stomachs or the bowels. So this is something that is about the children having a chance to be selected in their recess. And they are they are the beneficiaries to have some access to food in their canteen so that they would prevent malnutrition. So they would have this free bowl of lugaw. And yes, lugaw is essential because it prevents malnutrition. And this project is really helpful, especially to students who can't really afford or not really having some enough money to buy for their own food. The urbanized or the urbanidad kids rather. This one is a recognition to the ideal students who acted as role models for the students of the Pembo community. So these are the students that are the cleanest, most well-mannered, and most diligent in the class. So I do believe that this is a recognition that we should also look into. Like it's very normal for us to look on the academic excellence of a student, but in this kind of program, the Urbanidad Kids, this is something that really boosts the heart of the people to also consider the moral, I mean, the moral ascendancy of the students. It is really the character that is important. And it is also something that they would also bring when they grow up. And if they will be also become leaders of our society, this is something commendable. And I also do appreciate that they are being recognized by their school. Lastly, para sa panapon, this is a weekly trash market where students and their parents and other members of the community were invited to bring their recyclable garbage. So they have the project that helped the school to purchase the necessary supplies and was able to support 2 students to a 2000 math competition in Singapore. So in this kind of mindset that they have this program to recycle and then make money out of the garbage. And they even supported 2 students competing in a math competition in 2010 in Singapore. That's really beyond what other people might expect from this project. And this is really something that we should also be inspired of. That even though it seems to be impossible, by doing such thing, by exerting a lot of effort, a lot of help and work, and being so supportive with one another, we will be able to reach our success beyond what other might expect. We have now reached the key points of our first part of the webinar. You can read in the bullets that there are a lot of people involved in school and community partnership. So to make it simple, every one of us can be a part of school and community partnership. We just have to have this sense of urgency and initiative in order for us to also contribute to the school and to the community. Lastly, there are a lot of opportunities that is open for school community partnership. And the things that I have cited earlier are the ones that are being implemented in some of the areas here in the Philippines. So I do hope that you all listen carefully and you've gained something from this talk. And I appreciate your time. Thank you for actively listening. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Maranan, for the very fruitful discussion. These opportunities in school community partnerships can really yield mutual benefits and open more possibilities for us as students and as people of the community. As it was very interesting, someone sent us a question to be addressed by you. The question is, being you are the speaker in this webinar, do you also have experience with school community partnership programs? How do you manage to become a part of it while you are still a student?
Thank you for raising that question. Just to share my experience as a volunteer, I had a lot of organizations before. When I was younger, I was trained to become a student performer. I do play some kind of musical instruments and was inclined in music. And then when I graduated in high school, I never thought of leaving what I was really passionate about. So now that I'm in college, I still continue to become involved with community programs and also to take part with the activities from our school, from my alma mater. And to give you some specific example, I have been a rondalia player when I was in high school, and now that I'm in college, I am still a rondalia player. I still working with the group that I have, and what I learned from the past for all the from all my trainings, from all the practices that I went through, it is something that I still put I still apply in my life. I still apply it in my present times, and I would really want to share and to channel what I have learned in the past to my students. I do teach Randalia, and it is something that I really love to do. So even though I graduated from high school, because even though years ago I still teach um, music, and then now that I grow up, though I had been in the different path, different field, my love for music will always be in my heart. And the school community partnership, it aflames the fire in my heart to continue what I am doing. So I still a part of the organization, and whenever there are events, programs, social gatherings, I still take time to visit and to also do the work of a leader. And that is something that I would like to inspire every one of us. That even though there are a lot of challenges, obstacles that may press us down, that may put us down, but if we are eager to go beyond of what the world tells us, if we will be exploring a lot of things, if we will expand the gift of talents that we have, then we will be able to become an effective leader of our society.
Okay, thank you again, Ms. Maranan, for answering that question, and it was a pleasure to have you with us. As a token of appreciation, allow me to present to you this certificate of recognition for your valuable contribution to the webinar and EDUKasama, the Wise and House of School and Community Partnership. From Polytechnic University of the Philippines, College of Education, Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English, from the subject The Teacher and the Community, School, Culture, and Organizational Leadership, This certificate of recognition is hereby awarded to Blessed Faye D. Maranan in grateful acknowledgement of her expertise and contribution as a presenter during the successful conduct of the webinar, EDUKasama, the Wise and House of School and Community Partnership, given this 20th day of May 2022 via Zoom. Signed by our subject teacher, Dr. Rosalie A. Corpus, and our class president, Emerlyn B. Salima. So, is everyone still with us? Before we have our second speaker now, let's have Miss Blessy Maranan again for a little sentimental time.
Ika'y nakulong sa maling pag-iisip. Pangarap mo raw mananatiling isang panaginip. Sabi nila, di raw kakayanin. Kaya't ika'y sumuko at nagpasyang huwag nang subukin. Nagkamali ka nang napuntahan, pero ikaw ay natauhan. Umaling ka lang sa tamang daan. Ilang beses pang madapat sumubso. Kailan na'y gawing matatag ang iyong loob. Mga batikos, huwag nang diringgin. Makawalan lang iyan sa hangin. Bukas ay malapit na rin dumating. Lumaban ka pa rin. Balikan kung bakit ka nagsimula. Bago mo sabihin na ayaw na. Huwag mong sosolohan, di ka mag-isa. Ikaw pa rin ang susi sa pinto ng iyong tadhana. Nakulong, nakulong, nakulong ka. 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 Nakulong, nakulong, nakulong ka sa maling pag-iisip. Oh, nakulong ka. Pasanin man ang mundo. Huwag ka lang susuko. Dito lang ako. Mga patikos, huwag nang diringgin. Pagkawalan lang iyan sa hangin. Bukas ay malapit na rin dumating.
Wow, I really felt the serene aura of Miss Blessy in her intermission number. So let us now proceed to our second session. Our speaker this time is a consistent President Lister at Polytechnic University of the Philippines, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English. She also graduated with honors at Immaculate Polytechnic when she was a student. She is none other than Miss Alexandria Garcia. Let us give her a virtual clap.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, our dear MCs. So I will be your second speaker for this webinar. So let me share my screen first. So good afternoon, everyone. Again, thank you for being with us today. And again, I will be your second speaker for the Wisen House of School and Community Partnership. So are you feeling okay? Can you give me a heart react if you do? Thank you. Let's also have a system check. Can you give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me? A heart react if you can see me and my screen. Thank you. So I hope that you're not getting bored, and I also hope that you'll give me your attention, as this last part of the webinar is very interesting at alam kong marami tayong matututunan. So let's get started. So the focus of my talk is the sociological basis of school community partnership, legal basis for teachers' involvement in community development, and the legal basis for parents and community involvement. For the first one, we have here the sociological basis of school community partnership. So this was actually associated with the functionalist theory of Herbert Spencer. So it says that in order to have a stable society, different institutions must perform their specific functions. So other institutions must be aware on when to step up when there's an institution, for example, a certain school that is starting to fail. So of course, a specific institution like the government, for example, must take an action to help the school to be functional again. So functionalist theory was also compared with the organs in the body. So syempre, yung organs ng katawan natin, yun yung tumutulong para mag-function ang ating katawan. So yung mga organs, of course, ay may role na ginagampanan at lahat ng iyon ay importante. So ganun lang din yung school community partnership. So there's also an African proverb that says, it takes a village to educate a child. Kasi yun nga, schools must have community partnerships dahil hindi lang naman sa loob ng classroom nabibuild yung nabibuild or na-educate yung mga bata. So the next one. We have here 3 domains of the sociological basis of community partnership. So the first one, the schools and other institutions come in to assist the parents to fulfill their irreplaceable obligation. So, of course, a child's education is a primary obligation of the parents. However, due to the demand of the mother and father to work for the living expenses of the family, nagkakaroon ng hating oras where the parents have lesser or worse, no time to spend with their children. And of course, nagkakaroon ito ng adverse effects doon sa performances ng mga bata. That's why institutions are there to provide that missing obligation. So for the second one, we have the increasing number of solo parents raising their families alone. So this may also have a negative impact sa development ng bata. So the parents work alone to provide for the family. And of course, they may have a lesser amount of time to spend with their children. And this is like a cycle because unfortunately, these children become more likely a solo parent families themselves. So for the third one, we have the effect of technology use on the youth. So of course, we can't deny the fact that children in this generation are tech savvy or sobrang galing nila sa paggamit ng gadgets kasi yun yung nakasanayan na in this generation. But of course, it also have negative effects. Yung iba sa kanila, nakakakuha na ng inappropriate information from different sites. That's why families, schools, and other social institutions are working together to prevent this from happening. So we are at the second focus, the legal basis for teachers' involvement in community development. So we have here the section 16 titled Teachers' Obligation of Republic Act 232, Education Act of 1982. So it says that every teacher shall participate as an agent of constructive social, economic, moral, intellectual, cultural, and political change in his school and the community within its context of national policies. So this act is to promote and maintain the peace and tranquility of the school by observing the rules and discipline, and of course by exerting efforts to attain harmonious relationships with fellow students, the teaching and academic staff, and the other school personnel. So of course, this also suggests that every educational institution must establish appropriate bodies through which members of the educational community can discuss relevant topics and share information and proposals for the school's assistance and support, as well as the promotion of their common interest. Kasi hindi naman natatapos lang sa academic-related topics yung dapat pag-usapan sa school. Siyempre, schools must be a way to develop the community. Kaya dapat aware ang mga students sa mga kaganapan within their environment. And this will happen, of course, with the help of teachers and the different social institutions. We also have here the Article 3 of the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers in 1997. So it lays down the law with regards to teachers and community. So the section 1, a teacher is a facilitator of learning and of the development of the youth. He shall therefore render the best service by providing an environment conducive to such learning and growth. So teachers must provide an ample amount of service para magkaroon ng large improvement ang mga students by also considering a good environment for learning. So for the section 2, every teacher shall provide leadership and initiative to actively participate in community movements. So of course, kapag nakita ng students na yung teacher nila ay may initiative to participate with such community movements, this will of course inspire them to do the same. And the benefit would be larger, or the advantage would be larger. For the section 4, every teacher shall live for and with the community and shall therefore study and understand local and custom traditions in order to have sympathetic attitude, therefore refrain from disparaging the community. So we all know that communities are diverse. That's why it is important to know things about different cultures and traditions. And as a teacher, it is a role that they must consider as they will encounter different kind of students even in a single classroom. At isa rin itong way para yun nga maiwasan yung unintentional na disrespect. For the section 5, every teacher shall help the school keep the people in the community informed about the school's work and accomplishments as well as its needs and problems. So in the section 5, syempre, school and community partnerships go hand in hand. That's why giving information, ito man ay problem or accomplishments, is a must. It is to build a good partnership with the community as well. The section 6, every teacher is an intellectual leader in the community, especially in the barangay, and shall welcome the opportunity to provide such leadership when needed. So a teacher's role is really diverse. Para siyang different kinds of job within a person, and it is really helpful dahil hindi lang students yung pwede nilang matulungan, but also the people in the community. So we also have here the domain 6 of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. So it says that it is important to have a quality learning and strong partnerships that will surely guarantee the success of the students. So the teacher's role is to gather the community o mag-build ng relationship with families to have support and easier communication para matulungan yung students na ma-enjoy yung activities that will help them learn easily. So we have here the 4 strands of domain 6. Our first one, establishment of learning environments that are responsive to community context. So when establishing learning environments, teachers must consider the individual needs of students. So this will make the students feel belong and not isolated. So for the second one, engagement of parents and the wider school community in the educative process. So hindi naman nag-work ang isang institution lang. That's why parents' participation are important and beneficial. So for the third one, professional ethics. So as teachers, we must have, or we must always keep in mind the ethics that we are holding to, especially yung professionalism. So this will also inspire students to be responsible and ready to go in the real world. So for the last one, we have the school policies and procedures. So important din to kasi ito yung nagbi-build ng systematic and organized institutions. For the next one, we have the legal basis for parents and community involvement pa rin. Dito pa rin tayo. So the RA1 or Republic Act 9155, Governance of Basic Education Act, Section E, states that establishing school and community networks and encouraging the active participation of teachers, organizations, non-academic personnel of public schools, and parents, teachers, community associations. So we also have here the Section 3 of the same act that says local initiatives for the improvement of schools and learning centers and to provide the means by which improvements may be achieved and sustained. So this Republic Act simply focuses on the development of schools and other institutions by offering partnerships. So kasama na rito yung pag-improve ng facilities and of course yung pag-improve ng quality of education itself. For the next one, so RA 9155 states that number 1, we have here the Section 3, D, educational programs, projects, and services take into account the interests of all members of the community. So for the second one, we have here the Section 3 pa rin, E, the schools and learning centers reflect the values of the community by allowing learning facilitators to serve the needs of all learners. So, which is important, which is the most important dahil ang learners ang top priority. For the third one, local initiatives for the improvement of schools and learning centers are encouraged. So this means that functioning, this also means that functioning as a team is better kasi mas nagkakaroon ng malaking improvement. For the next one, Batas Pambansa bilang 232, otherwise known as the Education Act of 1982, Section 7, states that every educational institution shall provide for the establishment of appropriate bodies through which the members of the educational community may discuss relevant issues and communicate information and suggestions for assistance and support of the school. So again, this is a way to address different issues relevant doon sa school and communities. So it is also a way to discuss yung assistance of different institutions to support the school. So Republic Act 8525 or the Adopt a School Program Act allows private entities to assist a public school in but not limited to the following areas: staff and faculty development for training and further education, etc. So this is an act that provides schools from elementary, secondary, and tertiary the staff and faculty development for training and further education, construction of facilities, upgrading of existing facilities, provision of books, publications, and other instructional materials, and of course, the modernization of instructional technologies na nagbibigay kasiguraduhan para magkaroon ng maayos and good quality of education para sa learners. So we also have here the Philippine Education for All, or the EFA 2015 plan, states that schools shall continue to harness local resources and facilitate involvement of every sector of the community in the school improvement process. So this was planned in 2015. It is to ensure equality, basic education for every Philippine youth. So this was extended. So here, the extended education for all beyond 2015 to Agenda 2030. So UNESCO Assistant Director General for Education, Dr. Kian Tang, himself admits that Agenda 2030 cannot be realized without schools partnering with community. He said, our vision must be more aggressive, more committed, not just involving government and non-government agency, but all stakeholders. So, yun, partnership is very important. So, ito naman, extension lang siya noong EFT 2015. Sinasabi naman dito na hindi sapat na government and non-government organizations lamang yung involved, but also the other education stakeholders na magbibigay strength sa school community partnerships. And of course, para magkaroon din ng successful learning outcome ang students. So that would be all. We have here the keynotes. Schools cannot do it all. They have to partner with the community. The second one, Republic Act 9155, also known as the Governance of Basic Education Act, DT 232, or the Education Act of 1982, Republic Act 8525, or the Adapt School Program Act, and Agenda 2030, as well as the Code of Ethics of Professional Teachers and the Philippine Standards for Public School Teachers, is a good way para ma-strengthen palalo yung school and community partnerships. So, thank you for listening. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia, for giving us another insightful discussion. We've learned so many things from you and got familiarized about the sociological basis of school community partnership. Ms. Garcia will now entertain a question that was sent to us during the presentation. So the question is, have you observed school community partnerships within your community? Can you also give some details about the process, please?
Thank you for that question. When I was still an elementary and high school student, I have seen or observed some of these partnerships. Kaya na lamang nung pagpapatay ng mga buildings. Of course, hindi naman lahat kayang pondohan ng budget ng school. That's why there are non-government organizations na and other stakeholders na tumutulong para ma-provide yung gamit or yung mga facilities na kailangan sa isang school. Another one na na-observe ko is yung PTA or yung Parent-Teacher Association. So, some of us are familiar sa organization na ito na nabubuo sa isang classroom kasi, especially sa public schools, kasi ito naman yung initiative ng parents. So, I remember that they elect parent officers na nagpaplano na i-develop yung classroom, yung mga gamit sa loob ng classroom. So, nagkakaroon ng initiative na bumili ng appliances like electric fans and iba pang mga bagay. Nandiyan din yung pag-aayos ng funds para sa further occasions like Christmas parties and iba pang mga occasions. This lastly, nitong pandemic lang, I observed that my school, yung school ko ng senior high school, nagko-continue pa rin silang mag-build ng partnerships with other organizations, especially the non-government organizations. So, yung recent program nila, so I'm still following their Facebook page. So, yung recent program nila, sila yung nag-donate sila ng plastic waste, yung mga plastic bottles, mga basta plastic na sa isang NGO, yung The Pluff. So, if you're familiar with it. So, yung The Pluff, po-produce sila ng mga bagay na pwedeng magamit sa pagpapatayo ng bahay. So, it's really helpful kasi nakatulong ka na sa community, nakakadagdag pa ng, nakakabawas pa ng plastic waste. So, ayun, nagbe-benefit yung parehong institution. So, that's what I have observed during my recent years in studying. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with us your expertise and by answering the question, Ms. Garcia. As a token of appreciation, allow me to present to you the Certificate of Recognition for your valuable contribution to the webinar EDUKasama, the Wise and House of School and Community Partnership. Certificate of Recognition. This certificate is hereby awarded to Ma Alexandria May D.R. Garcia in grateful acknowledgement of her expertise and contribution as a presenter during the successful conduct of the webinar EDUKasama, the Wise and House of School and Community Partnership, given this 20th day of May 2022 via Zoom. Signed by our subject teacher, Dr. Rosalie A. Corpus, and our class president, Emerlyn B. Salima. So thank you so much again, Ms. Garcia. Ms. Rhea.
Thank you again, Ms. Garcia, for that really wonderful talk. And to our dear viewers and classmates, let me present to you the Certificate of Recognition, hereby awarded to everyone, in grateful and heartfelt appreciation of your active involvement in the webinar entitled EDUKasama, the Wise and House of School and Community Partnership, held on this day, May 20th of 2022 via Zoom, signed by our subject teacher, Dr. Rosalie A. Corpus, and our class president, Emeline B. Sulima. So, to wrap up this webinar, may I call on Ms. Shanley Bella Santos again to give us our closing remarks.
All right, that's actually a wrap. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating on our webinar. Again, my name is Shani Bella Santos. We appreciate you giving us your time, and we hope, our team hope, that you guys will able to learn the hows and the whys of community and school partnership. Before we all could go, I just also wanted to congratulate my team for doing such a wonderful job today, discussing all the topics, to the speakers, to our very, very thorough and very informative speakers, as well as our very hardworking technical team that had worked through everything just to make this webinar possible. Thank you to the students and the teachers who have watched and participated on this webinar. Really appreciate if you guys could share your thoughts, your emotions, or probably some questions once this webinar is uploaded on our YouTube channel. And before we go, one last thing that I wanted to tell everyone is that if our school and our community could actually partner, that's actually what we call unity. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shandy. We are very delighted to say that this webinar ends with a success. We'd like to convey our heartfelt gratitude and a certificate of recognition to Ma'am Rosalie Corpus for giving us the opportunity to conduct our webinar. Certificate of Recognition is hereby awarded to Dr. Rosalie Corpus for being the pillar of Visidan to one end in the conduct of the webinar series on her subject, the teacher and the community, school culture, and organizational leadership. Given this 20th day of May 2022 via Zoom, and signed by Group 5 leader Rhea Ling Quiapo and our class president Emerlyn Salima. Thank you, Ma'am Corpus. We are confident that everyone here has learned a thing or two from the speakers.
Yes, we really hope that everyone has have some takeaways in our two speakers. So by the way, We will be sending the evaluation form for the seminar on our group chat. Please remember to fill that up on or before the said deadline. To conclude this webinar, let's hear the PUP hymn. Once again, thank you, everyone.
Ang paaralan, tanglangkan ng bayan, pandayan ang isip ng kabataan. Kami ay dumating na salat sa yaman, hanap na tulong ay iyong palay. Ang layunin mo, mga tao, dinarangan ang Pilipino. Ang iyong aral dito, ang ikaw taglay, piupi aming gabay, para lang nakita. Piupi pinag-aral, gagamitin ang kalooban mula sa'yo, para sa bayan. Ang iyong aral dito, ang ikaw taglay, piupi aming gabay,